What's the first thing you think about when you hear Paladin? I think a lot of people just saw the shape of this ship and thought I would be building your stereotypical kind of attack ship. But for me, when I really started thinking about what this ship was going to be, I wanted it to be a defensive ship for Clifford and the rest of my fleet. And that's where I got the name Paladin. Because for me, a Paladin, I always think of like a knight with a massive shield, and like a very holy, just warrior. And I've been thinking about the shape that I wanted to do for this. Shape of the boat. This here is a bridge kind of idea that I roughed out today. I'm going to try and go with spaceship doors, maybe some more spaceship styled windows, but I really want the shield shape to be sort of the main focus. I also had to play with the engine room, what I want the engine room layout to be. I'll spawn this one. I really liked this. This is really cool. So big sideways pistons, you can walk down the middle, lots of funny angles. There'll be lots of bulkhead doors to separate compartments, and hopefully that can like keep condensers cool and boilers hot. The main thing that's like going on in my head about this is like the shape of a big sword and the shape of a big shield. So I want to cut out a big shield, like a massive shield, a shield that's bigger than a person. Now, this boat isn't going to be as big as Clifford, so I think I can just sort of start, I don't know, so like one thing was if I make it, it'd need to like come out on a bit of an angle, right? So if it's like quite pointy, it would need to be these 1x1 wedges for a while, and then it would need to kind of slope up quite gradually. Yeah, this is kind of what I was getting at. It might be too wide, and it might be too long. Also, another thing I've been thinking about is Outer Heaven from Metal Gear Solid 4. Basically, it's a massive giant warship submarine base thing. It would be like impossible to make in Stormworks. It would just break the game. It's so big and has so many things on it. But the main thing about Outer Heaven is that it is a very ship-looking thing, but it's also a submarine. So, this is. If I were going to make like a big shield, I guess it would probably come to here, which is maybe too short for this boat. Yeah, I would say that's too short. We're most likely going to have to go most of the length of the build zone, but there'll be a lot less stuff and it's going to be a lot shorter. Hopefully we don't go over the limits like Clifford. I think what I'll try and do though is we'll just come back with 2s and make it even pointier than it needs to be. I don't want to get stuck in this idea that I'm just building more ships that anyone can build that already exist. It's a game and we have like basically free will of what we can build. So first thing really that I'm doing is I want to try and get an outline, just kind of a general shape, and then start sort of planning where things are going to go. It would be really nice if we could have like a longer wedge, 1x8 wedge. That'd be real cool. I think I'm gonna give it a bit of a chop here, just widen the nose a little bit. Feels a bit wide, don't you think? But I really do like the way I set up this engine room. Oh, it's definitely wide. See, the engine room's even like very big because it's quite tall as well. So if we put this kind of in the middle near the back, all I need is an outline, so we'll get rid of all the central stuff. So I had thought maybe 3 levels would be good, or 3 floors. But what if it was only 2 floors and then maybe like a crawl space? This is already like doing all this kind of angled stuff is gonna make physics objects real bad. It's gonna not end well. But let's bring this down and then say if I do like another bit below so that I've got space for some kind of roll stabilizer at least. So that's the floor, very bottom. And then I want this to be like as flat down the sides as possible. So I think maybe 2 1x2s, then just run it flat. You'll never know, and that gives me space to do all the painting and details. And so this space on the side, is this enough space for like a room and a hallway? You would need a hallway probably on both sides. They go 5 wide for hallways. And so this is all I've got for rooms, which is probably not bad. Got space for like fuel tanks, space for roll stabilizers. This is actually still quite big, and I think it could be smaller, but it'll depend when we start putting rooms in, how that's going to work. So then this is like the very exterior. I'm going 5 wide for all my walking spaces, so any hallways, any outdoor walking areas. The below deck in the engine room anyway is like 10 blocks high, but I think the rooms will only be 8, and then that can give me more space below for equipment and pumps and anything like that. So, I mean, that's quite a low ship, isn't it? Do we need 1 more floor? This is maybe what I was originally thinking, was saying 3 floors. The other option is to make this a submersible and just not care where it sits in the water at all. Or aim to like have it just float above the water. But like this is already a massive amount of space. I feel like it's too big again. There's really no reason for it to be so large. So what if I bring in that bridge? The thing about this bridge, I had kind of started to slope it down thinking that this would be the very top and there's just nothing above this. This starts to make more sense in my head now. We bring this one right down, I think. Right down to there. So it's now like on the roof of the original structure. I think it'll have to slope off pretty quickly rather than being like staggered. I think we need to like go up and then cut the bottom down. Is this bridge too big? What if I just take the bridge up? It does feel quite big though, doesn't it? Like I might be running into the same issue with Clifford where we're just trying to fill space. I think the bridge is okay, it's kind of compact, but when you come out of the bridge, which floor are you on? Are you on a very top floor? And then how do you get down? Because I was thinking with this style that you would be able to go through stairs in the back. So like this would come down or something. And then there would be a staircase directly in the middle. This makes sense. It is still very big, but it makes sense. What if instead of this like 1x4 going vertical, we go horizontal? I feel like it could just even stop there. That would be that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Means I need to ditch that middle bit. I think it can definitely be a lot narrower and a lot smaller. And we just sort of have to line up all the rooms the length of the ship rather than trying to put them out beside each other. So from here, if we go down 8, I feel like this is maybe too much. Yeah, we'll go 8. I was thinking for Clifford, it felt very claustrophobic, very closed in with 8 high floors. So do I want 9 high floors? All of this is just kind of, I don't know, probably sacrificed space underneath this big wedge thing. Or I can maybe redo it in a different way that allows for you to be able to get actually inside it for something, or maybe it can just be repurposed for something else. Be turned into a crawl space, maybe. I want to have a look at that ship I made. This one, how did this work? It just went flat straight down and didn't bother. So yeah, unless I've got a very like angled out bridge window as well. I really like this and I want to incorporate that into my new ship somehow. Yeah, maybe these wedges are not the right way to do this. I'm thinking like if I get rid of one of these and then go to a 3 wide system. I don't know what these things are supposed to represent. I just think they look really cool. And then get rid of the wedges along the side. Bring in a 1x4 just along the side, or a 4x4 wedge along the side. Yes, and then that leaves me two wide so that I can go down to a 2x4. Basically nothing changed, but I got a nice little thingy. And then like, what's the point of coming around the back here? I think there will have to be some kind of rear deck thing, which if we just go double, so if I go to 5 maybe, 5, and then it would be like a rail, 5, and then another rail. Is that too much? It's probably better if I actually flip this around. Yeah, wait, what am I doing? Maybe? I don't know, I'll figure that out. Then I guess we need space to walk past here, so we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then this is the actual outside of the ship. So now we're starting to get to the point where it's like it makes sense for how big it is and where all the different deck spaces are. Because we don't want to be too wide. This is already pretty wide. Ooh, I wonder if I can do just a really long pointed nose now. Does it need to end abruptly or does it need to point? I kind of don't like when it slowly curves off. It makes it look very, like, way too round. I would rather end in a very pointy point, very angry point, please. Even that's better than having it round. And as long as you can see over this height when you are in the bridge, then it's fine. And then we'll do a raised deck on the front for the guns. I feel like this bit needs to come even further back. And then you just kind of need to step up into it, which means it'll probably be 1x1's best effect so that you can put rails and staircases up here. So we've got one floor in the middle, bridge on the top, and then engine room down the bottom. It all makes sense. All makes sense. I've been watching heaps of videos lately about YouTube algorithms and like making videos. And they all seem like they're under the impression that we just want to make a video about anything. And I'm like, man, I want to make videos about things I'm interested in. And then it feels like none of that stuff applies. None of the stuff they're talking about applies to what I'm trying to do. This feels kind of weird. Is this too big? Too big? It's a lot smaller than Clifford. The staircase here is going to influence how this works, or like how it raises up a lot. So I want to get this put in. We'll do an end rail. I could do like a corner rail, but I don't know if I'm a fan of that. Corner into the side. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the new floor. But now that I know where the staircase is and how far that comes up, I've cut this vent thing out and pushed it back quite a lot, and then that lets me kind of figure out the rest of the dimensions. There must be a sign. Must be a sign. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. I can go for very flat front or curved front. Follow the wedges around. We've still got the engine room. We've still got the depth. Got the flat sides. We should have good visibility. I don't know what all this is. Oh, you'll kind of lose your visibility because of how far this bit comes out. You know, you can't really see past that. Is that a problem? Is that a problem? Because we can actually do this. Try and drop away so that it's not going to interfere so much. And then what that does is causes more problems over here. So now you can like get yourself off the side. It does kind of help with improved visibility. So somewhere at the back on the stern, we want to cut up kind of early. And then it should, one, it'll look kind of more normal, but the main reason I want to do that is because it will help level out where the lack of buoyancy is. So you lose a lot of buoyancy on the bow because of it tilting or pointing inwards. And so if we can lose the same amount of buoyancy on the rear just by cutting it out and angling up real soon, very quickly like this, then this will look normal. It'll also bring our center of thrust in line with the center of mass, or close to it, maybe not totally within it. Do I want to just maintain the too high wedge the whole way along? It's probably the easiest thing to do. And then maybe on the very, it'll look very strange if I suddenly go to like the 1x2s. Probably better to just flatten it out completely. And then all of this just becomes like equipment storage. This area is sort of just mangled. And then we put the floor in, or the very bottom of the hull. Joosh, done. There's a hull. Are we happy? Are we happy? It's very long. Probably doesn't need to be this long. Definitely I think the front needs to come back. It has really just turned into what you'd expect. So let's have a look at some yachts. Yachts. What are the yachts doing? The yachts don't have the flat bit on the front at all. They don't flatten out here. They carry on this piece all the way to the tip. Now, what I think I need is probably to come to like 5 out from there so that we've got some kind of walkway. And then all of this probably can go, almost definitely. So yeah, now that I've got kind of like the shape of the ship, I can start modifying it and refining it into something more specific. So all of this needs to go back, and it probably needs to go up as well. How far can I bring this back without losing my 5 wide walking space? Actually pretty far. And this even sort of looks more like what the yachts do, where the bridge is a little bit closer to the bow. I really like this. Maybe this is just like going to the back then. What do we call this? What is this doing? What is its purpose? I don't know. Heat sinks? Are they just heat sinks? Actually, they could just be heat sinks. What if that is the cooling solution for the engine? Because it's going to be pretty close to where the engine's located. From here, this stairway is going. Zoop, zoop, zoop. All this is gone. We want to come up nearly all the way and leave kind of a way. So I think this goes. I mean, don't be afraid to just delete everything you've done. Seriously. Just because your first idea is good doesn't mean your second idea isn't better. Bring this forwards. Doesn't need to go all the way forwards. Ah, yeah, okay, this makes sense. So where the door comes out now will match up with like how this walking space can line up with the bow. So, I mean, maybe it needs to come forwards even more and then just we extend the rear. Can I bring it? How far forwards can I bring it? Like there? Is that too far forwards? Maybe that is too far forwards. I'm gonna go one back because then I think it lines up better. Yeah, one back will line up better with where the 1x4 wedges are. Get rid of this. Get rid of this stuff. This is gonna reduce visibility so much. And then realistically, like all of this needs to be covered up. This can come back quite a lot, I think. And then we'll go down on a 1x2. Sure, okay. And then we just take the bridge, which like the bridge could probably go forwards more as well. Yep, visibility is gone. No more visibility. Oh, but we have so much space to play with. We'll kind of square off the bridge area, pull this back. And then we want some way to get out onto the back of this. Like, do we want a helipad on the back of this? This is really weird proportions. Oh, what if I put the bridge up one more floor? I really don't like, it looks like a truck. Looks like a truck, this in the middle. I like this bridge, just the windows, just like the windows. They're a lot wider. What if we just go 3? Yuck, 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 yuck. Excuse me. I like totally. Okay, let me catch you up. I've decided most of it was wrong. I really liked the window that I had from that patrol ship before, but I liked some of the other shapes, like this little cutout or indent thing on the window. I think bringing the bridge forwards means it needs to go up. And if I bring it too far forwards, then we start to look like Clifford again. So we want to come back. We want to come back. And we want to go up. We want to go back and we want to go up. And we want to drop the door down below the window. I'm going to bring this back quite a bit so I don't like end up with any funny shenanigans inside this bit here. And yeah, so this door is coming down. I think that's the thing, right? It's like, in this particular case, I think I'm getting mixed up with where the doors are going. If the door is down, then all I've got to do is build another wall to lift all this up. Now the bridge has better visibility. All this can poke out a little bit more. And even using this 1x2 wedge is going to allow me to put the heat sinks in the front somewhere if I want. I don't know if I want. So now this looks more like a military boat. This is the kind of bridge you might see on a military boat. I like this. I like this. And I'm going to use more of these windows further back. Oh yeah, where there's all these like bits, I reckon they would be really good for putting equipment in. Is this the one? Let me chuck some seats up here and see how I feel. That does look pretty intimidating from down here. So there would be like space, probably stairs that come down to the doors, or maybe central staircase or something. These stairs would go down, all nice and easy. Visibility is pretty good. Lots of space on the roof to put all the instruments and stuff in. We can take all the dash from Clifford, modify the kind of idea and put it in here. And then off the back, I was thinking maybe there is enough space on the back here to put like a helipad. And this is definitely a lot smaller than Clifford. This thing here though with the heat sinks, I could put it up in the front here. Just one of them would fit in the front. And then maybe another option is to put them sideways, one on each side, and use these as heat sinks. Cuts into a bit of the space I was considering using as helipad, but it does look very cool. Oh yeah, you can't mirror this stuff. Can't mirror most XML. So yeah, it's not like it has to become an engine room or anything in there, but maybe become like a utility space, or at the very least it just means I've got heat sinks in the roof and the ceiling. You just slap a wall in here. I don't know what this rear deck is for exactly. There's no reason for you to go around the back other than maybe if you were just looking, like if you needed a higher vantage point around the back. This does pose a bit of a problem where the XML is starting to stretch through. Heat sinks are also black, like they're not this grey. It won't just disappear. If I use black, it also doesn't disappear. Kind of odd actually that they used a different color for this. Oh, that one's kind of close. What's that? 18. So it's probably like 20 if it's going to be anything. Nope, it's not. 20, 30? 30 is pretty close. It's got a totally different texture though, like kind of shiny, whereas all the other grays are very flat. Yeah, and then we're into two lighter colors. Grays become too light. So I don't know if I'd do that or not. So basically what I'm saying now with this shape is that the waterline has to be about here. No, there. This is where the water's got to be, or below, preferably, but about here. I nearly had that. I just do a quick check for holes. There's bound to be a hole somewhere. I'll get rid of all the internal walls and things that don't need to be here at all. I guess that needed to be there. Paladin. Let's chuck some propellers on here. Will it float? Will it float? I guess it doesn't float. Maybe we're making a submarine. Oh, it doesn't float because these things are not sealed. There you go. Oh, but it actually floats really well. I did not expect that. I thought we'd be down in the water somewhere. I thought we'd be way lower. Just turn on infinite electricity. I'm not going to use propellers. This will be fluid jet controlled. You know, I wasn't expecting it to work at all. I don't know what to do now. I was expecting it to not work. So imagine a big gun on here. Doesn't necessarily have to be a very big gun. It just has to be able to shoot. Very simple and vague requirements. Put a door in there. I don't think you'll get a helicopter on here very easily. So this thing at the back will probably have to go, which is fine by me. It doesn't, you know, it was just like a random idea that could exist. I kind of wanted it to sink a lot more. It will get a lot lower as we fill it up. And I guess, like the ships that I've been looking at, all of them have been like 3, 4, 5 levels tall. This one I'm looking at here, the grey one, is 1, 2, 3. It's probably only 4, but it's just a lot bigger and the scale is a lot more different. I guess in here is where I would put my gangway because I'm bringing that back. That was probably one of my favorite things from Clifford. So if we say this is a floor, is this 8? That is 8. So there will be a gangway in here somewhere, which means this actually needs to be like outside technically. And if that's going to be outside, there might as well be some kind of walking path through here. So let's chuck a door there. No, the other way? That way. Yep, one back, one more back. We need space doors. You know, space doors is like the worst thing I could possibly do for optimization, but it'll look good. So the fact that I want to put a walkway through there might mean that this goes away and the stairs move across, and then this just like carries on. Well, does it? 5. Yeah, so like at some point around here we have to go back in this way. The wall has to come back in a little bit, which is fine. It might as well actually happen right up by the door, but then that's a bit weird, isn't it? And then I can get rid of this rear deck section. It's a really like weird space up here, but it could be actually a really good spot to have turret positions, because it's like totally out of the way of all the walkways. You don't have to cross over for anything. There's a lot of space along here. There could be like multiple turrets, automated turrets, anything. Could even just be a whole bunch of static weapons that all just point to the side. So you just roll up on someone and nuke them. What's the biggest gun you can get? How do you even search for weapons? Heavy autocannon? Is that what I want? Or do I want like, there's a Gatling gun, isn't there? Machine gun, light autocannon. Imagine that. You just hide it in there. Just roll up on someone. I don't know, is that how that works? Is that how guns work in this game? Beats me. Here's the gangway. Ramp at the top. I found a problem. Found a flaw. If I put rails in here, we're screwed. They also can't go up to the top. How did I solve that before? Oh. Does this gangway only work on Clifford because it was built like with an inset wedge? So the pivot point is actually way further in than where the door starts. Do you know what I mean? Like if it's a flat door, does it still work? Because now the point is different. The rail's different too though, so maybe it's okay. I need to check and see if this even works at all. Please don't sink. It's gonna sink, isn't it? Oh, it didn't sink. Okay, fantastic. Fantastic. Oh, okay, it does work. But it seems a bit sketch. Oh, yeah, it's a bit sketch. It's stuck on something, which I think could be this or this. Wow, okay, so this is actually totally unsealed and we're still floating. What is going on? Yeah, it's getting stuck on this wedge, I think. Probably just have to get rid of that top rail. I don't think there's any way around it, if that is what's happening. And that's kind of okay, you can make it shorter. But the problem is now that I can't, I'd have to make the walkway wider, so I'd have to bring it in more. It'd be really good if I could fold the rail as well. Is there a way to fold the rail? I'm not so sure. Well, what I'll do is I'll get rid of the gangway for now. We know as a proof of concept that it does work. Not that it can work, that it does work. It's just maybe not the best solution. And then this door will open into this wedge and that'll look kind of broken. What do I do about the space doors? Alright, I should just move this door across. Oh yeah, and then I'll just fill that up. Wedge, wedge, wedge. Wall comes to here now. Everything just starts a bit more over now. I'll cut a hole here so we know this is like the intention. Good if the wall was actually across another one. Below deck we've got 8, 9, 10, then a space. So this is like the engine room floor. I think probably the crew quarters would be down here. Crew at the front, engine in the middle, storage in the back. So yeah, this doesn't need to exist then, does it? The front kind of looks like a yacht and the back kind of looks like nothing. I'm not fully convinced this is the right shape or even the right general idea. I'll have a think on it. Leave me some of your suggestions. I know a lot of people have got suggestions on this. It's definitely the right kind of size though, like a bit of a lighter, smaller defensive craft. I feel like the idea that I had with the Paladin's shield sort of went out the window a little bit, but it looks more like a yacht now, so I'm happy about that. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.